standards. And this is not only for residential, even for commercial properties, the same standard would go. Now, with the lockdown and the regulations that prohibit that kind of contact, and the fact that the real estate sector does not fall under level 4, but only falls under level 2, the estate agents' hands have been completely tied, which means they're completely without an income. And that's how dire the situation is within the sector. And that is why, as the Eaab, we have joined with the estate agents in their plea to the minister that she appeal for the estate agency sector to be moved from level 2 to level 4, subject obviously to whatever precautionary requirements may be put in place to make sure that human life is not sacrificed in any particular way.
And that was exactly my next point. With the property sector only expected to operate at level 2, let's talk about what assistance the Estate Agency Affairs Board is giving stakeholders in the sector to mitigate some of those challenges. We'll talk about the other classifications in a moment.
Okay, yes. As a regulator, I'm sure you know that really our ability to provide relief is obviously restricted is limited to the extent that we can in terms of the law and the regulatory environment that we work in. But we are aware that as a regulator, we levy a lot of fees on estate agents. For instance, their registration fee, which gives them a fidelity fund certificate for them to operate. We also may charge them fees for education and training and for continuous professional development, and we also have in place what we call audit fees, which are fees which is the obligation for them to submit audit reports on an annual basis, whereby they indicate how much money they've earned in their trust account, and then they're obliged by law to contribute 50% to our fidelity fund. So what we have said as the Estate Agency Affairs Board, we need to relax those requirements. And we've even received an appeal from the industry that for this financial year, they be completely exempt from paying some of those fees. Now, with regard to the educational and the continuous professional development requests, we have extended to that, asked for an extension until September, and that we have granted. With regard to the other requirements, we have penned down a request to the minister for approval, because we do have certain statutory limitations in relation to what we can approve and what we can't. But we are engaging with the minister.
How far is that engagement at this stage? Is there any likelihood of getting an answer anytime soon? I've spoken to quite a number of estate agents who are very concerned, of course, about the classification at level 2. I know that they've raised those concerns with you as well. Is there any indication about when you possibly will get some kind of a response with regard to that reclassification?
We don't have an exact timeline, but I know that it's receiving the urgent attention of both the department and the minister. And I believe that the Director General has been in ongoing discussions with the chairperson of our board and with the Estate Agency Affairs Board on expediting a resolution to this particular matter, because it's quite critical that there be some resolution. And I do believe that there has been, at least, even if it's a slight breakthrough, I'm sure you did see the regulations that were gazetted last week, which allowed at least for one movement in relation to people who have concluded lease agreements and want to go into new premises. So at least that is a small movement in that direction. But the reclassification, we believe that discussions are underway. And I also believe that even the industry itself is not just sitting back and being despondent. We have been informed by a lot of industry players that they're now trying to facilitate for remote viewing of properties. So they're also trying to put in place other measures in the interim whilst the discussions are still taking place.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you very much indeed. The CEO of the Estate Agency Affairs Board, Mamodupi Mushala.